When I do finally get to play DPS or tank in a key, I've been often getting Mistweavers, and it makes me happy. As somebody who started with Mistweaver, I'm glad to see this back popular, but I see an over-reliance on some of the wrong tools, some mis-mana management usage, and whenever I look at the healing meters, they're not doing anything horribly wrong, but for the Fistweavers, it's that they're not Fistweaving enough. And it kind of inspired me to want to make another video. My name is BowserTheHealer, and I've been playing Mistweaver since I started World of Warcraft Season 1 of Shadowlands, and Fistweaving's been the way to go since then, and I've really enjoyed it. But there's a lot of optimizations and predictability in Mistweaving with Fistweaving that I want people to be aware of, because if you can master this stuff and really optimize how much you Fistweave, you'll get more value out of your cooldowns, out of your mana bar, and more upkeep for your damage. And we love that in Mythic Plus. So let's get into it. If you like healing content, get subscribed, or if you just like listening to me talk about World of Warcraft, hey, it means a lot to me. So we need to go over the basics of Fistweaving really quick so that we know where the heals are going so that we can better optimize. When Ancient Teachings is running, you're going to have 150% of your damage dealt from Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and Rising Sun Kick. 150% of that damage will be converted into healing. It is split among 5 targets though, completely evenly. So if you do 100k of healing and it's split 2 ways, that's 50k a pop. 1 way, that's 100k to 1 target. 5 ways, it's 20k. This means if you're healing your entire party, all 5 of you, it's going to be a little slow. Very efficient in terms of mana, but not very efficient in the time department. And that time department's the important bit. But if you're only healing 2 people, it gets easier. And if you can reduce that 3 to 2 quicker, it's even better. So optimizing like that is what we are going for. Now, there's 2 effects that help us out here. Enveloping Mist and Chi Harmony from Renewing Mist are tier set. Let's talk about them. Enveloping Mist is a move that you can hard cast through a Soothing Mist, which might be a bit faster, and then Thunder Focus Tea, which will make it instant and have a heal up front. It can also come from a Life Cocoon. Just note that it's going to put Chi Harmony, Renewing Mist, and the Enveloping Mist all on the target that you selected for the bubble. However, anytime an Enveloping Mist comes out, yes, the person's going to take 40% bonus healing, and yes, that affects your Ancient Teachings, but it also produces a random Renewing Mist. And yes, that is a real Renewing Mist, which means it does pump out, you guessed it, a Chi Harmony. Your Rising Sun Kick will also give out a Chi Harmony, and with the Wavy talent, you'll also get Rising Mist, which means you'll extend the duration of not Chi Harmony, but your Renewing Mist and your Essence Fonts, helping you to continue to cleave heal with your Vivifies. But every single one of those Rising Sun Kicks is making more Chi Harmonies. So as long as you're in motion doing your damage rotation and keeping up Ancient Teachings, you've kind of set yourself up with this inertia. And I like to describe Mistweaver as an inertia-based spec. It has some reactive, it has some proactive, and you need to just make sure that you're weaving the elements together. And Rising Sun Kick really does do that for you. And Renewing Mist, which you get 2 charges of, is instant cast, so you can just drop one on yourself or drop one on somebody that needs it and heal them up relatively quickly. Now let's start with us real quick. Expel Harm is an unbelievably powerful spell now, doing a ton of healing, and if you Thunder Focus Tea it, you can get a shield out of it as well. This is a very powerful shielding and healing mechanic that can allow you, the Mistweaver, to stay healthy, which is very important because if you can stay healthy, that's 1 less target that needs to be healed. And we don't just have a new shield from Expel Harm. Bounce Back at either 1 or 2 points, which both are totally viable, provides a 20 or 40% damage reduction for 6 seconds after we take 12% of our max HP and damage. Every 30 seconds, we get 6 seconds of DR by taking a little too much damage. That's a very powerful damage reduction tool. Not only is that up often, but if you combine that with things like Yu'lon's Grace, the magic shield that just automatically generates instead of diffuse magic the defensive, we can have multiple shields on top of each other and damage reductions before we even hit Dampen Harm or Fort Brew. And you can run Fort Brew with a lower cooldown, or you can keep the high cooldown and use it as your last ditch effort defensive, because Dampen Harm's only a 2-minute and a pretty solid defensive. And as a reminder, before we move into talking about how to heal other people, your Vivify is instant cast every 10 seconds. So you can very quickly, if you take damage, heal yourself up with that instant Vivify or Renewing Mist into Vivify for the Chi Harmony effect and get a lot of healing very quickly. But note that that Vivify is on a 10-second clock, so 10 seconds is the most amount of time you'll be waiting before your instant Vivify, and it can even come up immediately afterwards. So it's like every 10 seconds it gets refreshed, if that makes sense. Anyway, you have it up kind of often. Thunder Focus Tea can adjust a bunch of our moves, and it is worth reading through it and learning what you want to do with it, but resetting the cooldown on Rising Sun Kick essentially allows you to get out more Chi Harmonies quicker. Instant cast Enveloping Mist means that you can instantly get an Enveloping Mist out and an additional Renewing Mist. And as I said earlier, the Expel Harm Shield and Heal is quite strong, so using this to further bolster your defenses is a good thing. But due to the talent Tea of Plenty, we have access to even better tools. So this allows for 2 random casts, and it could be the same spell, of Thunder Focus effects. The Thunder Focus effects on Tea of Plenty are Rising Sun Kick, Expel Harm, and Enveloping Mist, which is disgusting. This means that you can get a free Renewing Mist out with Rising Sun Kick and do a little more damage and a little more Fistweaving healing, give yourself a free shield, or get that Enveloping Mist out. And if it doubles up, you can get, yes, 2 Enveloping Mists out, which means you get 2 additional Chi Harmonies out, which is a lot of healing for 2 GCDs. And it's entirely possible to get double stacks. Therefore, you can also get triple stacks by getting a free Enveloping, getting a free Enveloping, and then spending your Thunder Focus Tea on Enveloping Mist. That's a mouthful. I highly recommend this talent as it allows you to quickly ramp and handle situations, but also takes a long while for those buffs to fall off. So you can actually hold these for a decent amount of time in a pull. Like if you get a double Expel Harm Shield, you can just press it immediately and then refresh it the next time Expel Harm comes off cooldown. And if you've taken any damage, well, your shield's refreshed. Wahoo, it's very strong. So what about healing others? Well, let's talk about Thunder Focus Tea again. When the going gets rough and a few players take damage, you can just slam back a Thunder Focus Tea. It's OGCD, so if you have to pivot directions with your healing immediately, you still can. But even just a single Enveloping Mist at instant cast speed can do a lot of work. Give that to the most hurt player, maybe put a Renewing Mist on one more player, you have a Chi Harmony out, an Enveloping Mist, you can start Fistweaving and you'll probably heal people up to full. But Thunder Focus Tea as your first reaction, as the first thing that you do as a player, isn't a bad idea whatsoever. Now, something a little more desperate is you can use Soothing Mist. When in Soothing Mist, you can cast things like Enveloping Mist and Vivify at instant speeds. And it's really, really good, but it's really, really mana inefficient. So drinking some of your mana tea before this isn't a bad idea, but even if you mess it up, trust me, it's still worth that healing throughput. If one player falls, you could, say, instantly heal them with your Soothing Mist stuff, then hit the Thunder Focus Tea, cleave heal a few other people, and then get back to Fistweaving, and everyone's health bar is just gonna go back up. And don't forget about that instant Vivify. And another thing you shouldn't forget is Essence Font. So let's say you have Essence Font bolts on people. Whether you hit Essence Font or you hit your Feline Stomp, your Jadefire Stomp now, in order to deliver Essence Bolts, they don't do a whole lot on their own. It's a very weak heal over time. But it does double Mastery effects, and even if you don't talent for Mastery, hitting a Vivify into target and getting 2 rounds of your Gusts of Mist is pretty powerful. This is also what makes Chi-G's healing so strong. Now, you should go watch somebody like Megaset who has in-depth videos on how to optimize Chi-G. Essence Font bolts are the secret sauce that make Chi-G pump so hard, and using that to your advantage even for things like Vivify, Renewing Mist, and Enveloping Mist is a good thing. We're not saying no to bonus healing. So if you can aim those Felines in such a way that a couple of targets get Essence Font bolts on them, that's a good thing. And don't forget about Life Cocoon. Life Cocoon essentially puts a player-sized shield on top of someone, and an Enveloping Mist, or Renewing Mist, and right now a Chi Harmony. That's a lot of healing. Throw it on someone and forget about them. Go to somebody else who needs healing, allow the cleave heals and the Fistweaving and all of that stuff to work their magic, and trust me, it'll save you a big headache. It's only a 1:15 cooldown with the way I talent, and with the way a lot of Mistweavers talent, and yeah, you can get a ton of value out of this move. Now, how about our emergency buttons? Let's talk about Chi-G and Yu'lon. They have Chi Cocoon, which is a smaller shield than Life Cocoon, but it goes on everyone in your party. Now remember, Life Cocoon and Chi Cocoon are in fact the only external defensives you have as a Mistweaver. They're shields, they're not even mitigation, so it's pretty important that you use these when you expect damage, but it's a 1 minute cooldown, So realistically, you're going to be able to use it a little more than I'm making it sound like, so have fun with it, experiment with it. But I like to use this to proactively react to damage and ramp my heals through a difficult situation, whereas with Shayloons and Revival, I like to use Revival for its Mass Dispel, or as a hair trigger instantly heal people because I know they're struggling. And Shayloons is the same way. All of these emergency cooldowns and all of your healing benefit from 2 talents, Close to Heart and Save Them All. Close to Heart's going to provide bonus healing to targets near you, and Save Them All is going to give you some giga boosted healing when a player's health bar drops a certain amount and receives healing. And seeing as you're almost healing all the time on Mistweaver, you can proc this quite often and get a lot of boosted healing. Have you ever hit a Shayloons and it didn't feel very good? And then you hit a Shayloons and it like full heals the party? Yeah, it was probably Save Them All. Using Save Them All with an emergency cooldown is a really good way to catch up as Mistweaver. But remember, Revival is a Mass Dispel for magic, poison, and disease. There are places like in a Taldazar where that's incredibly useful for getting multiple diseases off if, say, nobody kicks the Construct boss, or if too many wildfires go out and you need to catch back up on healing, especially on a bolstering or like fortified week. But sometimes you just need to heal, and that's unfortunate. Revival is your last button to go to. You're probably going to plan a place for your Revival, or your Revival needs to be your like final stand button. You have nothing else left to save the party, it's probably Revival. Shayloons has a cast time, so it's less good at that, but Shayloons can catch you up very quickly, and it's somewhere in the 40 to 60 second cooldown range depending on how long you want to let it charge. So Shayloons can be really good really quickly, and I highly recommend that you use it to catch up. However, if you are over relying on Shayloons, you're going to be missing a lot of extra healing that you could have gotten from optimized ancient teachings, and that's sort of the whole point of this video. Trying to reduce how often we're dipping into those bigger buttons when we don't need them. The better you understand Fistweaving and can see it work, look at the health bars and watch it heal people, the better you'll be able to understand when you should press your buttons, when you should just be hitting a Thunder Focus T, or when you can relax and just keep Fistweaving because it's not a big deal. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you're all enjoying Mistweaver as much as I am, and of course, just keep looking at those health bars. If you have any other comments, list them down below, but I mean it. The more you understand how that healing gets distributed, the easier it becomes to pick and choose who you're healing, who you're topping off, and who you're going to let finish off with your Fistweaving. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.